Hey ladies, today I want to discuss the women that use friendships as a place to bully women who they're threatened and intimidated by. This is something that a lot of covert narcissists do, sociopaths, psychopaths, people with personality disorders. They tend to get in friendships with women that they feel out of touch from. They feel like they're better than them in some way. They feel like these women have something that they don't. And instead of just admiring them from afar, they feel like they need to get into friendships with these women to tear them down, to bring them down a few notches. And this is something I've experienced my entire life. Even to this day, I feel like with certain people who I considered friends, they still cannot help themselves but to try to bully me because they can't stomach the fact that I have something that they maybe don't. Whether it be confidence, style, beauty, anything. It could be anything. But if someone perceives you to be better than them in a certain area and they don't know how to basically go and achieve that for themselves, they'll befriend you just so that they can tear you down and bring you down to their level. And I find that it's very disturbing that a lot of women use this tactic to hurt pretty women and gorgeous girls. Bullying is probably one of the most disgusting things a person can do because, again, instead of you dealing with your own jealous feelings and instead of you really working on your insecurities, you have decided to now physically act on the feelings that you feel. How you feel about your own beauty, your own confidence, your own self-esteem, your own life has nothing to do with that beautiful woman who you are targeting. But of course, they make all of their problems that pretty woman's problems, and they attack her for it. So something I noticed whenever you get into a friendship with someone, it doesn't matter if it takes a year or 11 years, a person cannot hide their true feelings about you for too long. And you'll start to notice when you get around this person, they're going to constantly be comparing their man to you, their relationship, what her and her man have going on compared to yours. You could be having the most simplest conversation. And this is how you can really tell when a friend is envious of you, but is trying to hide it and is trying to bully you. You could be having the most innocent conversation. The conversation isn't necessarily about you or them, but you can mention something and they will feel inclined or they will get the compulsion to bring something up in comparison to you. And it's like, girl, we weren't even talking about me. We were talking about a hypothetical, random situation. It was not something for you to feel like, I'm attacking you or I'm highlighting something about your relationship or your life. But again, because they are already sensitive to you, because they are envious of you, they're going to take any opportunity, even if it's an innocent one, and pervert it. They're going to take any situation, any conversation you have, and they're going to twist it into malice. And so that's when you'll see you could be having an innocent conversation with a friend, and then all of a sudden you start to feel attacked. And you start to feel like they're comparing and competing with you, and you start to feel like they're throwing little subliminals. And it's because, again, they're using the friendship to bully you and kick you in a very covert way because they are jealous. And instead of dealing with their jealousy, they continue to be friends with you, even though they're battling internally. And they use moments that are supposed to be innocent, that are supposed to be pure, and they pervert it and turn it into moments to bully you. You have to understand, ladies, a lot of your enemies aren't people who are distant. They're usually someone who's close to you. And the strangest thing is some friendships can start off very pure, but then turn very sour once you surpass someone's expectations of you, once you go further than what they expected or what they're comfortable with. And something you need to understand is proximity makes people feel comfortable. Proximity makes people believe that, okay, well, since I'm close to her, this is my opportunity to take her down a few notches. She's an exclusive person, but I was able to break through the mold and get close to her. So let me utilize this proximity and use it to my advantage by siphoning her energy, studying her, taking everything that I learned and applying it to my own life, and then simultaneously taking jabs at her to chip away at her confidence. This is what these types of women do, ladies. Somewhere along the lines, they became threatened by you. You became a threat to them, their future, their trajectory. You became a pain point for them, someone who they looked to and saw all the things that they wish they had but can't achieve. And before you know it, this friendship that was once pure and clean then turns into a one-sided competition. And that's why you feel this switch go off in a friendship where suddenly your friend who you thought was so supportive of you is now taking opportunities to take jabs at you. For example, ladies, I saw a very close friend of mine. I haven't hung out with her in a very long time. I considered her a close friend for many years, and it wasn't until this weekend that I realized I need to change how I view her because something was off. And I would say around day 2 is when I started to pick up on some funniness. So, day 1, it was okay, it was cool, but I feel like that was like where she was kind of putting her feelers out to see, who I am in this season of my life because she hasn't seen me in a while. The second day came, and that's when the bull crap started. So the comments about, what her husband does for her. And she started making comments about how he pays her bills. And basically we would be having normal conversation about just random things that didn't involve either of us. These were just hypothetical random conversations just about life and people and circumstances. And it just felt like she would always bring it back to what her man is doing for her or how much money they're making or any type of material possession they had. And at first I tried to shrug it off and act like, like that was just a normal way of having a conversation. Like maybe she felt like that was what she needed to say to add to the conversation. But I started to get this vibe off of her, like with the face that she would make after she would say certain things, that she was trying to make me jealous of her connection. And I never really understood that because she was in a very long-term relationship since I knew her. And so I was always happy for her. I never, hated on her for having a man. But it's like now that I have a man and now that I'm in a completely different place in my life isn't in shambles like how it was when she knew me. It almost feels like she's threatened by the fact that I have a good partner. I have someone who loves me. I have someone who has basically been with me and I've turned my life around. It just feels like she's jaded by that and that she liked the friendship more when I was in a subservient place to her, when I was in a lower status when it came to love and connections and men. And it just started to feel very like showboaty and braggadocious on her side. And it made me uncomfortable because this is supposed to be my close friend. I really couldn't understand why she was behaving like this with me. It was very, very weird. But then I put 2 and 2 together and I realized, she's using this opportunity to make me feel less than about my connection, even though I am very fulfilled in my relationship. I'm taken care of and I'm happy. She still feels the need to try to take me down a few notches and try to initiate me into a one-sided competition between her and her man and me and mine. And it just made me think about you guys and what we talk about on this channel. And I immediately said, after I get over this cold and after I'm settled home, I'm going to make a video about this because, it is so crazy how someone could be your friend 1 second, but the second you change your life for the better or you get into a situation where you're not in you're not in a bad situation anymore, suddenly that person is utilizing the friendship to take digs at you. Suddenly they're utilizing their proximity to you to tear you down a few notches. This same friend saw me go through a lot of tumultuous situations. She's been with me through all of life's ups and downs, and I just feel like she felt better about herself when I was going through those things. And now that I'm not anymore, she views me as a threat. And so instead of ending the friendship with me or just distancing herself, she's choosing to stay connected to me. But when she gets around me or when she gets me on the phone, it's always a pissing contest. It's quite exhausting, ladies. When I tell you I was ready for the trip to be over because I was just like, why is this girl behaving like this? Why are you so inclined or feel the need to tell me about what your man is doing for you in every random conversation we have. It's giving insecure. If you have to speak on all the things that you have, all your material possessions, your love life, what your man is doing and what he's making unprovoked, like no one asked you and you're just bringing that up into conversation, it definitely is giving like you have a compulsion to cover up an insecurity, or you're trying to dominate me. Either way, you're weird, get from around me, okay? So ladies, drop down in the comment section. Let me know if you've ever been in a friendship where you were being bullied by your friend. I'd love to hear your comments down below. I'll also be leaving my email in the description box so you can share your stories there as well. Have a lovely day, ladies.